My first guest is a big fish in the world of trout farming. Let's take a look at him in action.
People try to put us down, they should just cut. Talking about my generation, they do look awful. Talking about my generation, if I die before I get old. Talking about my generation, my generation.
Well, there you go. I didn't see one trout in that clip, apart from maybe the one on lead guitar. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome country trout farmer, lead singer of The Who and credit card salesman. Please welcome Mr. Roger Daltrey. No, you've got to get that fixed.
The one-armed chair.
What did you shout back then when I said about the trout? You said you were going to bring me one.
I should have bought you one, yeah.
Now, before we talk about your new movie and what's going on at the moment, I'd like to do a little bit about The Who, because obviously people are still interested about that. Oh. We saw in the background, playing on drums, of course, the legendary Keith Moon.
Yeah.
And if rumours are to be believed, I heard that you're going to be making a film about Keith's life. Is that right?
Well, it's an idea that I've had for about 5 years. I'm just getting the research done. I mean, it'll be another 5 years before the film's out, but it'll make a very interesting film.
Any idea who might play Keith?
Yes, but I'm not saying. Well, you know, you put the fee up.
Yeah. Wouldn't be Ollie Reed by any chance, would it?
No.
Would it be a kind of a waltz and all look at his life, or would it be like a Friends view, which obviously you were?
No, I want to make a film about a drummer, and it's not about his drumming, it's about what he does on his days off. Because everybody knows that Keith Moon with The Who, they all know he was the lunatic who was throwing televisions out of windows and doing all that. And a bit of that will be in the film, but underneath all that comedy and everything else, he was a very kind of tragic character and very serious. And there was a wonderful love story underneath that with his wife. And that's the area I want to explore. So hopefully it'll be the ultimate tragic comedy.
There's a maintenance of a good movie there, definitely, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a good story there, but it's finding it. You know, it's like everything else. They just want another rock and roll film.
Let me ask you about another of your former Who mates, Mr. Pete Townsend, who recently was in the news just a few weeks ago when he came out.
Mrs. Pete Townsend.
Well, exactly. I mean, he came out of the closet and said that did he say that he'd always been gay, or that he was recently gay, or that he was newly gay? I mean, I don't know what he said, but I mean, Pete tends to run off a bit at the mouth when he does these very serious interviews, and I think he's just been misquoted. So I think what he was trying to say is he wrote a song, and he wrote a song about being in love with a man, and he wrote it from the female side of him, and he put himself in the perspective of a gay man, which I think is a very brave thing for a writer to do. You know, to say I recognise the female in myself, and I'm going to write a song from that perspective. And of course, the journalists get hold of it, and it comes out of something else. You know? I guess
I'm Gay by Pete Townsend.
It was the tabloids I saw it in, so I guess I should have known better. When was the last time you lot played together? That was '89, wasn't it?
That was, God, it seems like an age ago. It was about 18 months ago, yeah.
Now, do you still get on? Because I always got the feeling that in the last couple of tours that there was a certain amount of tension.
Well, we still fight regular together. But we do get on. But I mean, the band was never a social kind of group of people anyway. We used to meet to work, and when we worked well together, the chemistry was magic, and that's all that mattered. Nothing, I mean, whether we got on or not wasn't really important.
So what about touring again? Because obviously the Stones are still cranking it out.
Well, I never say never. I really do. I mean, Pete Townsend always says, "Oh, I'm never going to do it again." And
we know from experience to take what he says with a pinch of salt, don't we?
We end up changing our minds a week later, but I never say never.
Yeah. Let's talk about your acting, the side of your career, because one of the things I always admire about you is you're one of the few rock stars who actually moved into movies, and I think, as a credible actor, I mean, you delivered fine performances in Tommy and also McVicar. I enjoyed very much. Now, why is it? It seems that a lot of rock stars ultimately want to get into films. What is the attraction?
I think it's a logical progression, and it's also another kind of form of a job which doesn't feel like a real job.
But you've got about 8 jobs, haven't you? You've got the trout farm.
Yeah, but
which I will be getting to later for trout fans.
So for trout fans, yeah. No, I mean, that was just something to do. That was a hobby that became a job. Because, I mean, the trouble is with rock and roll bands, you do... Charlie Watts said the most wonderful thing in the world. He said, you know, the Rolling Stones have been going for 25 years. It's been 5 years of work and 20 years off.
Yeah.
And that's the trouble with rock and roll, is that you've got all this time on your hands, and you would go crazy if you didn't take up other things. And I mean, I got into fishing, then I got into where they get these fish from.
Which is safe for recreational
Yeah, I
pursuits,
got
so
into
most
that.
rock stars get involved, doesn't it? It seems
Yeah, so, and I enjoyed that.
What about other rock star actors? Do you have an opinion that you'd care to share with us on, like, Bowie and Sting and say, Mick Jagger's screen outings?
Well, I mean, I admire them all for trying, because it's not easy to cross over. People think it's easy because you've been a successful rock singer. Oh, yeah, great, we'll just shift over there and become an actor. It's not easy, it really is not. Rock demands such a strong image of a person. It demands really strong imagery. But whereas acting, you don't, the less of an image you've got, the better. You know, the more malleable you are, the better.
Yeah, it's more subtle, I guess.
That's right. So it's really difficult to cross over, but I admire them all for trying.
So here, you've got a new movie coming out. What is it, next week it's due out?
I don't know, 28th.
And this is called Buddy's Song. Now, what's this film about? What attracted you to this project?
What attracted me was, it came from, I did a TV series for schools television, and it was called Buddy. And we got such a great reaction from kids in school, and we had letters from headmasters saying that never before on a Monday had they had full attendance. You know, but this thing was shown.
So you sent them screaming back to school after the weekend?
Yeah, they were coming back to see the next episode of Buddy. So I thought, well, there's something extraordinary going on here. And the story was about a boy and his dad. And at that time, the boy was kind of 14 years old. Now, this is a later period of their life. It's the same boy and his dad, and the kid is now 18. And they're having marital problems, and the kid kind of articulates this into music.
Well, let's have a look. We've got a clip, needless to say, because we do like a bit of a clip on this show. It means we don't have to talk for a minute.
It's a musical, but it's not a musical. It's a dramatic musical.
And is it a kids' film or is it a family film?
It's a teenage film, but I think it's the kind of film that an 8-year-old could go and see with his granddad, and they both have a good time.
Well, let's have a look. This is a clip from Buddy's Song. Buddy's Song.
Now, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one, buddy. Listen to this.
Dad,
Don't like them horrible things, do you?
I do. They're brilliant. Look.
Bloody machine. Listen to that. Hate all that sort of music.
It's not for you, is it?
Buddy, they all play guitars. Elvis, Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly.
What about Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard?
That was pianos, wasn't it? Not machines.
This is a piano, Dad, and lots of other things. It's really modern. Listen, it's really good.
Give me the good old days.
You can have them.
Buddy's Song. Now, if I'm right, that film which you just completed, that was entirely British money, is that right?
Yeah, it's British money, and it's one of, I think, 4 films made in this country last year. I mean, it's not a lot of British money. Yeah. The industry in this country is, everybody keeps saying how bad it is, but it is really bad now. I mean,
it's almost non-existent, isn't it?
It's non-existent.
And you've just come back from the States filming. Were you the only guy on the plane, or were there a few people?
There was a few English people. There weren't any Americans. Tourist was full up. First class was empty, and there was about 4 of us in club.
Now, I was going to do the in-depth trout fishing interview, but unfortunately we're out of time, I believe.
Thank God for that.
We'll have to do that next time, but thanks for coming on. Mr. Roger Daltrey. Later on in the show, we'll hear a white plum's moving tale of how it was forced to become a prune and then ruthlessly stuffed into a Danish pastry. That's the unspoken evils of dried fruit after the break.